Hi, everyone. Welcome to Coach Rob. I'm here with my college buddy, Kim Atienza. Hey, Kim. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Robert, it's such an honor and a pleasure to be with you. We used to hang out every single day when we were in the college. What's your student number, Robert?
85-00347.
8446067. You never
Eight,
forget your student number.
no, 84. I didn't know 84. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, eight four four
So,
six zero six seven.
naabutan mo yung IMC, no? Was it IMC when you were there?
When I was new in Mascom, it was still IMC. And then I think 2 years after, it became CMC. But IMC pa nun. IMC pa nun, yeah.
I got there. It was their first year of CMC, College of Mass Comm. Actually, I was there the other day, no, a few months ago, for the induction of Army as the dean, and I was looking at everywhere where we used to hang out, and it was the ghost of our youth on those stairs, on those steps, on those classrooms. So good times. And actually, that's why I wanted to interview you, because we've had the pleasure of seeing both of our careers through the years, no? And you were like me, you were a working student.
Yes, I was, yeah.
Yeah, and I really like your first job.
Yeah, I was doing voiceovers for anime, and then I had a aerobics TV show. I was dancing aerobics on television so I can be on cam. And I was getting gigs left and right on advertising and television because it was really our line. I remember that.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people were just going to school, but you were working and I was working.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we balanced it. No, I mean, that's why when after college, being in the TV network, no, I also did ABS, you were ABS also. It was just a natural progression, no? It was like a continuation of school.
I totally agree, Robert. But there's always one anecdote that I tell people. I even
Yeah,
told you on your timeline.
you did.
Remember when Gigi Alfonso, who was our head then, that was our first year. Our first year, she was asking what we wanted to be, why we took up film and audiovisual communications,
Yeah.
and what we wanted to be in the industry. And a lot of our classmates said they wanted to be award-winning directors. A lot wanted to be award-winning script writers. Some wanted to be in production. Only two people said that they wanted to be on camera. It was you and me.
Yeah. No, and hey, and you became Kuya Kim, man. And I tried it, but I just couldn't get over the Tagalog barrier, I mean, I tried. I didn't try hard enough, I suppose, but I enjoyed acting, so I did it in commercials.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
my destiny was really sales, no?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I always believe that we are where the universe puts us, and we are where we're supposed to be, right? And I find it amazing the career that you've created for yourself. Can you say, how did you go from voiceovers to being Kuya Kim?
Um, Robert, it's a long, exciting journey. Life is like a box of chocolates. You really never know what you're gonna get. But I did start out as a voiceover artist because it was good money then. I was doing commercials, and then I was the voice for Maskman. Maskman was one of the first animes showing in the late 80s up to the early 90s. And then my first job in ABS-CBN was the voice of Ultraman and Magma Man. And aside from that, I was doing a lot of voice commercials. I was the voice for Miller Cigarettes. I was the voice for Beer and a Beer when they just launched it in the late 80s. That was my racket. And then the racket was good.
Yeah.
Deep in my heart, I really wanted to be on cam. I really wanted to be a TV star. Except that in our time, in the 80s, the peg for TV star was Agamulak and Richard Gomez and Robert Galhagan. You're so guapo, man. And
Well.
naman, I'm not naman ugly, but I'm not that handsome either. Tama lang, eksakto lang. And that had no place absolutely on television in the 80s and 90s. But I kept on auditioning. There were so many auditions, di ba? Whenever a new commercial would be produced,
Man.
we always had notices in Mascom because the guys and the girls in Mascom were always guapo or maganda eh. And Rob, I went to all of those. And maybe out of the 20 that I went to, no one got me, not even one. But Noel Malyonga, who was the auditioner, noticed that I had a distinct voice. Sabi niya, Kim, your voice is not announcer-like, but it's very distinct. I think I'd like to try you out as a voiceover artist. Let me just turn off the electric fan. It's a bit noisy. Para
Okay. Yeah. Guys, for those of you who don't know Noel Malyonga, you know, I idolized this guy. Noel Malyonga was Big Bert, yeah? Big Bert. He was the voice of Big Bert, and this was a really cool guy.
Yeah, he was the voice of Big Bert in Walter 5.
And he looked like him. He was a big guy.
He was like Big Bert.
Yeah.
And then his partner then in that voiceover company was Chito Vicente. Chito Vicente was one of the voices in Voltes 5 as well. Not Steve, but the other guy.
Yeah, I just remember Chris. No, Chris.
Chris Vertido.
The voice of Mark.
Chris Vertido was Mark. Yeah. Chris, they're all one group, and they were trying out voiceover artists. No? So I got discovered because now my voice is not announcer-like, yet it was distinct to be remembered. So I got the role of Mask Man, Red Mask. So, Red Mask! And
I was going to say sample.
Red Mask. And then, but not only that, because everything was on a budget, per taping kasi it was like 500 pesos eh.
Wow.
You're supposed to be versatile to be doing other voices as well. So I was doing Red Mask, but I was also doing the contrabidas. The main contrabida of Red Mask is Dargan. And Dargan is a big guy. So I needed a big muscular voice. So Dargan's voice is like this. Kamahalan, ang maskman na lima, kinakailangan mamatay silang lahat. That's how he spoke. So I had my regular voice, I had my other voices as well. That made me so versatile. And I was so happy because in college, Robert, I was earning about 10,000 pesos a month already.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
I remember I was earning 8,000. I had 2 jobs. I was a writer for Going Bananas. And with Gigi Alfonso Osige, I was earning 8,000. And I felt rich. I could move out. 10,000 is a lot. That was a lot back then.
Man, 8,000, 10,000 back in the 80s and the early 90s is equivalent to maybe 80,000 now.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that was big money. That's why I never finished college, Robert, because I started working early. And I figured I'm earning already. Why finish? I'm studying to be in the field of mass communications. I already have so much work in mass communications. So why should I study pa? That's what I do.
No, I completely agree. Actually, I finished. I think I finished. I'm pretty sure I finished. But I never went to the graduation. And I was like, it was just, college was in the way of
work.
Yeah, I interviewed Albert Cuenca, and he also said he never finished college.
Yeah.
And I tell people, college doesn't have the same value today that it had years ago, no? Because we have instant access to information, and
yes,
and well, for the longest time, I was telling people there's nothing I learned in college that I'm using now for my career.
For your work, yeah.
Yeah, until 5 years ago. Now with social media, everything I learned in college is coming to life now,
You can Google anything now.
Well, yeah, you could learn anything, but I tell people college is you have to be in it for the right reason. But you entered mass comm because you wanted to learn about mass communication and media, but we were in it. We were in it.
And then what else people don't know pa? In 1986, ABS-CBN was given back to the Lopez family, remember?
Oh man, I remember that time. Yeah.
That time. So it reopened, and there was a need for all talents, no?
Yeah.
Behind the scene, camera, filmmakers, talents, and everyone from ABS was invited because our teachers were Charo Santos.
Yeah.
Gigi Alfonso was there, who's also
Channel 9. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of our batchmates went to ABS and started working there and are now bosses in ABS-CBN. I'll give you an example. Lauren Diogi is now the head of entertainment. Lauren was the same in 1986. He was invited to ABS to work, and now he's one of the bosses in ABS-CBN. Linggit Tan was from Mascom, and then she's now a boss in ABS-CBN. Alu Almaden. Marami. Puro mga UP graduates o hindi nakatapos sa UP, nagtrabaho na kaagad sa ABS because ABS-CBN had a great need for talents.
Yeah,
But then, yeah,
and
sorry.
me, I was a boss in ABS-CBN.
Yeah, and
But I
you
quit. I quit.
right. No, but you nga, I envied you because you had on-cam breaks. And
I
I
did.
remember when we were in college, you were part of Platoon. Eh.
I did.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, imagine you're the only Pinoy who had a speaking role, although you died in Platoon. And man, in Mascom kasi, if you land a gig like that, you're sikat, man. You're popular. Sabi ko, Robert, my friend, has become so popular. Man, I want to be like him. You were so aspirational. No, but we ended up good friends and we hung out together all the time.
No, hey, wow. I mean, it's amazing looking back. I mean, I also remember Augie, Augie was just starting to
Yeah.
get his breaks then. And then he was teasing me because I was on TV, ooh, Rob, sikat na, like that. I was like, I mean, for us, it's just work. We're just having fun. But going back to ABS-CBN, no, during that time in 1986, it was, people need to, when you look at ABS-CBN now, it's such a big company. But back then, it was like, how do I describe it? It
Mom and
was
pop. It was
it
very
was
mom
mom
and
and pop. It was mom and pop. DZMM was in a shack under a balete tree. No,
pop.
the
Yeah.
studios we were PTV4 was on the side, and we were beside PTV4. No, and it was really all the big bosses. Now it was just I can't. It was like a when they say what's your tagline, Kapamilya.
Kapamilya, yeah. In the service of the Filipino, Kapamilya.
Yeah, but we were really like a family of a bunch of people just doing schoolwork. It's like UP moved to ABS-CBN, Cordy Vidanes, Charo, like that. We're just getting by and just,
Fabian Ladino, si Chris Violago.
yeah,
Puro UP. Puro UP lahat ng tao.
all UP.
I remember when I was recording for Ultraman, we didn't have a recording studio. It was a makeshift recording studio in engineering. That's why I got close to the engineers, sila Melvin Acosta. It was in the basement. We were in the basement. And then it was one of the rooms in the basement that was the recording studio for all the anime. And they were also recording, they were dubbing some of the teleseries there also. Well, there were no teleseries pa there. It was imported. Imported, canned TV shows to be dubbed in Tagalog.
Yeah, I think back then may block timers pa, no? Eat Bulaga was still a block timer.
Yes. Yeah, may black timers pa nun. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wala na. You can't have that anymore. And
More.
so you ended up being on camera, right? And one reason also, Kim, why I couldn't stay on camera, I couldn't take the hours. Even being a director, I didn't have the stamina to be in front of the camera because the hours are long. How did you handle that? Go ahead. Yeah. By the way, guys, Kim just did 50 kilometers this morning. Like the only time I can do 50 kilometers if I drive. I can drive 50 kilometers.
Blessed, Robert, because I have many shows in ABS-CBN, but most of my shows are live. When it's live kasi, at least the time is predictable. Like I was part of the morning show for 6.5 years, for 7 years. And the morning show, it starts at 5:30 in the morning, but it ends at 8. So you know that at 8 o'clock you're finished.
Yeah, that's nice.
Showtime. Showtime's a noontime show. It starts at 12. You're done by 3. Now I'm part of TV Patrol. It starts at 6:30. I'm done by 8:30. I have my own show, Matanglawin, which has its own time slot, but I tape and it takes about 1 day or 2 days maximum to tape it. So my time is very predictable. My schedule is hectic, but it's predictable. And that makes a hell of a difference. Kasi to some of our colleagues in ABS-CBN, the teleserye guys,
Yeah.
they're paid to wait. The directors of the teleseries, they're paid to wait. They the call time is at 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm taking them 6 in the morning the next day. And that's how it is.
Wow.
So it's difficult to be part of that group in ABS-CBN. It's very hard work. Lalo na the directors, because at least the actors, they can wait in their tents or in their vans and sleep and read a book or watch Netflix or study the script. But the directors and the production people are there all the time within the 24 hours or the 48 hours that they're taping. So it's difficult work. People nga say, they think that it's all glamorous to be on television. Robert, it's so hard.
It's hard.
The directors drop dead from from a hard work.
You know, I mean, God bless their souls. No, when I was with Going Bananas, Gilbert Perez,
Yeah,
and then when Deramas, no, this really, I was like, wow. And then
yeah,
they were changing the rules. I'm glad because it's tough. And I was teasing you. I was teasing. I go, dude, I'm gonna be on camera again. And
yeah,
I did a commercial last December.
yeah.
Call time was at 5 a.m. I did my part at 2 in the afternoon, right? And I go, I'll just do this for fun. And then, yeah, it was tough. It was tough.
You're paid to wait.
Yeah,
But
paid to
again,
wait.
no, I love my work, and I'm so thankful to God that He put me in this situation. And you know my story, pa Robert.
That's what
I
I want to hear.
let go na of television, because I wanted so badly to be on cam, and I was getting all these odd jobs being on cam, off cam, but I didn't really have an integral part in any station, especially ABS-CBN. So back in 1993, I got into politics. I ran for barangay chairman because my dad was in politics then. He was already vice mayor of Manila. And then I ran for councilor, and I was a city councilor for 12 years.
That I remember.
Sorry, I was barangay chairman for 3 years and a city councilor for 9 years. So I was in politics for 12 years. And I, I had my piece in politics. It was good to me, but I was not passionate about it. And I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I was doing it for dad because dad was in politics. So therefore, son has to be in politics as well. And then the time came when dad was already on his last term and someone needed to replace him. And it happened to be me because I was the one in politics in the family. And like any other politician, I found a way to get to television for exposure. And because our friends then were already bosses in
Yeah.
ABS-CBN, made some phone calls to some good friends of ours, and I suggested to them uh, uh, a segment that I can do. So sabi niya, so what can you do? This was a contact in news and current affairs. Sabi ko, well, the Philippines has no Steve Irwin. That was the time of Steve Irwin, mga 2003, 2004. We don't have a crocodile hunter. I'm good with animals because I was really into animals then pa lang eh. I can be the local Steve Irwin. I can wrestle with these crocodiles in Manila Zoo, and my dad is mayor. We have control of Manila Zoo. I can play with these big mammals, and then it's going to be good television. Really? You can do that? I can do that. Wow. How much are we going to pay you? What's your budget? You don't pay me. Sabi ko, free. Walang bayad. Walang bayad. My agenda was just exposure so I can be on television and run for mayor. Really? And not only that, I told my friend, I told our friend, you know him, eh? Not only that, I'll get a sponsor to sponsor the segment that you'll give me. So the segment will make money, no money out because you're not gonna pay me, and I'm just gonna be on television. That's all I want. Wow, syempre, super good deal. Let's try it out. So they gave me a segment in the morning show called Magandang Umaga Bayan. That was with Julius and Tintin, also from Mascom.
Yeah.
This was in 2004. The title of the segment then was Animalandia, where I was doing Steve Irwin stuff. I was wrestling with crocodiles, handling all these big snakes, running after the ostriches in Manila Zoo, and it was good TV. It was such good TV that it was rating so high. Siyempre, it's the first time it's done in the Philippines. That's why I wear a hat, eh. Because that hat is the Steve Irwin hat. I was copying him, eh. And then after about maybe 5 months of doing this, my boss in ABS then was Maria Reza. And Maria told me, Kim, I like what you do. You're actually very good on television. But I also know what you're doing. You are using news and current affairs for your own political agenda because you are running for political office. And that is not allowed. Booking. We go, okay. But Maria said this, I like what you do and I like your style. Here's a contract. She showed me a contract. I want you to sign this and to work for me and you'll get a salary. But if you decide to run for politics, you can't be on television. You got to make a choice, Mr. Atienza. So because I was flattered and flabbergasted and also afraid. So I said, Maria, um, give me time to think. Can I think about it? Okay, I'll give you a few weeks. Yeah. So it ended there. And then I kept on doing my segment in the morning show, but this time my producer Noel Ferrer was making me do not only animals, I was also doing people. I was live every day. Animalandia was taped, but I was live every day going around interviewing different personalities. And I was assigned to interview Ka Ernie Baron. You remember Ka Ernie?
Oh yes.
Ernie Baron. I was going to give him an award for being an icon in the industry. So I went to his house in Parañaque. He was seated under his pyramid on the fourth floor of his building. And I went, magandang umaga, bayan. Magandang umaga Ka Ernie Baron. Nandito ko ngayon para bigyan kayo ng award para sa inyo po ito. You know what he said? This was live on TV, recorded. Bata, di ko kailangan ng award. Pero alam mo, pwede na akong magpahinga. Pwede na akong mamatay. Kasi meron na akong kapalit. And then he put his arm on my shoulder. Ikaw ang papalit sa akin. Man, Ka Ernie Baron anointed me on national television.
You know, whenever you tell that story, yeah, I still get goosebumps, and I know how important that was to you.
Yeah. Yeah. You know how important it was? Because it was a turning point in my life. The first thing I did was I prayed. I said, Lord, that was a sign. It's a very clear sign. But now give me courage. Courage to tell my dad and my
Tell your
family.
dad. To tell your dad.
I'm replacing Ka Ernie Baron and him.
And not.
How difficult that was, Robert?
How do you do it? That's a tough conversation to have.
Tough conversation to have. But I did. I invited Dad to my house with Feli. No? We were there, my wife and I, and then Dad was there with my mom. And I couldn't tell him, Robert. I was so emotional, and I was afraid also how he'd react. My dad's a very strong man. He's very alpha. I said, Dad, Dad. Then my dad said, Kim, you don't have to tell me.
Oh.
You know, whenever I watch you on television, I see how happy you are.
Wow.
I see how glowing you are on television. I think you found your vocation. Don't worry about me, your family, your mom will be okay. I give you my blessing. You be on television. That's your world. He
Wow.
gave me blessing without me even asking for it. You know, I gave him a tight hug and we were crying that morning. It was an emotional morning, but that was the start of Kuya Kim on television. This was in 2006. That's the time I signed the contract already. They gave me the morning show, Magandang Umaga Pilipinas. They gave me TV Patrol to replace Ka Ernie Baron. And then they gave me my show, Matanglawin. And then 3 years after that, they gave me Showtime. So that's the story of Kuya Kim on television. It was supernatural, Robert.
Well, I mean, but there's a few key points there, no, which I like to point out. One is that you made it happen. I mean, you kept getting rejected by people, but you still kept. You knew what you wanted, and you made it happen by offering your services for free. That's always a good way. Free muna. I always give it for free muna.
Yeah.
And then the second thing was when you were given a hard choice, you made the choice in favor of your dream.
Yes.
So congratulations to that. And your life has been amazing. By the way, I follow your passion with your motorcycles and your turtles and all your animals. It's a good life. It's a good life. But when I was asking the team, no, what do they want to ask you? A lot of it really had to do with your health issues, which you know I have my own, right? And I struggle with my own and I deal with my own. But when I see what you had to overcome, mine is nothing. Can you share a little bit? Because it's more than one.
Let me turn on the electric fan again because the mosquitoes are biting me. I'm in the garden. 1 minute.
Yeah. So while Kim does that, no, I mean, I think it's pretty public, all the medical things that Kim had to go through. And what was the first one, buddy?
Sure. Is the audio good despite the electric fan? Am I still clear?
Yeah, I don't hear the fan. Maybe it'll come out later, but I don't hear it right now.
Good. Okay. I had 2 health scares. The first one was in 2010. This was the height of my career when I had 4 shows in ABS-CBN. I was doing the morning show, and then Showtime was a morning show still. And then I was doing TV Patrol every night. And then I had my own show, Matanglawin. I was so passionate about what I was doing because I loved it. I really loved it. but I totally forgot about my health.
Yeah.
So this was August in 2010. I was brushing my teeth, and then like a switch, I suffered a stroke. Now the stroke is it hit the left frontal lobe of my brain, and that side of the brain was in charge of speech, cognition, learning, etc. All these things I needed to be Kuya Kim on television. I couldn't even speak, so my brain got erased and I couldn't speak. I knew I was in trouble. I was naked, buck naked. I ran around the house, and then I saw my house help. I screamed for help, only to find out that I couldn't
No sound.
sound. My driver had the presence of mind to put me in the car and bring me to the nearest hospital, which was PGH. So I live in Malate. Oh man, there was a long line of people who were more in urgent need of medical help in PGH. But my wife was able to call a friend, Doc Jerry in Makati Med. They're able to bring me to Makati Med, and within 2 hours, that anticoagulant was given to me, and the stroke, instead of becoming a massive stroke, was dispersed. So blood was able to flow in my brain, and I was able to recover. But while I was in ICU and I was recovering, I talked to God. I talked to Jesus Christ, who was my best friend. Jesus Christ was, growing up in Catholic schools, Jesus Christ becomes our best friend. We talk to him all the time. We pray to him all the time. And I prayed to him and I said, Jesus Christ, if you make me well, I'm going to be the best Kim I can be. I'm going to be an athlete. I'm going to be so healthy because I don't want this to happen anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to run marathons. I promised him that in ICU. And I got healed. So within 3 weeks, I was walking already in the polo field. Walking slow, and then the slow walk became a brisk walk. After a few months, my coach, Coach Idia Lopez, and then he taught me how to run. At first, I ran just 5K. And then the 5K became 10K. And then I joined my first 21K. Exactly a year after my stroke, because I promised God, I promised my best friend, Jesus Christ, that I was going to be the best Kim I can be. I was able to run my first full marathon already. I signed up for Marathon du Médoc in Bordeaux in France. So 42K na. I was now a bona fide runner. About a year and a half after my stroke, I became a triathlete. And then 3 years after my stroke, I was at the height of my fitness. I was running, swimming, and biking and joining all these 70.3 Ironman races. I signed up for my first full Ironman. And the first full Ironman is a 3.8-kilometer swim, followed by a 180-kilometer bike and a 42-kilometer run. And I knew that I was so fit that I'd be able to finish it in about maybe 11 or 12 hours. You see me training all the time in Dasma Forms. That's where I train it. Anyway, I was so fit, so I signed up for it. And then, after training long, I was training for about 7 hours bicycling, I realized that I couldn't move my fingers. My fingers were just like this. They became paralyzed. I couldn't move them. And then the next day, my toes were also paralyzed. When I removed my shoes, I couldn't wiggle my toes. My toes were like this. Being a stroke survivor, I went to my doctor right away and I talked to her. I told her, Doc Anna, am I suffering another stroke? Because my hands and my feet are paralyzed. She gave me a long nerve test that was so painful. She stuck needles all over my body. It was so painful. And after like 2 hours of testing, she told me, Kim, you have a rare disorder, a rare disease called GBS, Guillain-Barré syndrome. What's that, doc? So being Kuya Kim, I got my phone. I was going to Google what it was. Don't Google it. You won't like what you'll see. But let me tell you what's going to happen. You'll be totally paralyzed. The symptoms are deadly because you'll be totally paralyzed. And it works so fast that maybe by this afternoon or tonight, your diaphragm might be paralyzed already. So we may intubate you tonight. And to my mind, Robert, yesterday I was Ironman. I just biked 200 kilometers and I ran 28 kilometers. And then I'm looking at paralysis and intubation. When I was in ICU that day, Robert, I prayed to my best friend, Jesus Christ, and I told him, you gave me a stroke. And then you healed me of my stroke. And I told you I was going to be the best me I can be. And here I am. I'm almost Ironman. And now you make me paralyzed. What is it that you want from me? I complained to my best friend, Jesus Christ. What is it that you want from me? Ano ba? No, to a best friend kasi you can complain like that. You know what I realized the time? It was an epiphany that afternoon in ICU. I checked my phone and my phone had I can. That's the motto of Iron Man. Eh. I can swim, I can bike, I can run. On my t-shirts, on my training shirts were the words I can. In that bathroom mirror of mine, that morning I had a stroke, there was a note that said, I can. Whenever I'd swim, I'd bike, and I'd run, I would tell myself it was my mantra, I can. That afternoon in ICU, when I couldn't even move my hands and my feet, and I was waiting to be intubated because I was getting paralyzed, I realized that I can. There's nothing I can do. I couldn't even move my fingers. There's nothing I can do. That's when I realized, Jesus Christ, I get it. I get your message. I can. You can. And I need your help. Please help me because I can't. There's nothing I can do. I seek his help. And you know what's funny? I got healed again.
Now, how? How? From? I mean, that sounded really serious. It's not like you
Well,
were expecting it. How'd that happen?
God loves me so much that I got healed again. But more than the physical healing, Robert, was spiritual healing.
Okay.
That day in ICU, I called my best friend. My best friend is Rica Paraleo because we were together in the morning show for 6 years. I called Rica and I told her, Rica, come naman to Makati Med. Oh, what's happening in Makati Med? Kuya Kim, I'm in ICU. You're in ICU again? I said, yeah, this is for different reason. I have GBS, Guillain-Barré syndrome. And can you bring your husband? She's married to a pastor. Eh? Si Pastor Joe Bonifacio. Bring your husband. I want to get to know more about Jesus Christ. And you know that morning, Robert, I got to know more about Jesus Christ, not only as best friend, but as my source of everything, my
Wow.
Lord and my Savior. Oh man, there's nothing I can do. Everything is from Him. My life changed. My motto changed. He healed me again, and I became a faster runner, a faster swimmer, and a faster biker. Became a better father. Became a better husband, a better worker. But knowing full well where it all is from, it's not from me. There's nothing I can do. It's all Him. From I can, it became He can. Only God can. And you know my message to all our viewers? It's strange and it's scary how life can turn 180 degrees anytime. When my stroke happened, I was at the peak of my career. When boom, 180 degrees, I couldn't talk. I lost my faculty of speech. I was at the height of my fitness, ready for my Ironman, and then life turned 180 degrees. I was going to get paralyzed. Now, 3 months ago, Robert, your life and my life was normal. I was saving up for a nice motorcycle I wanted to buy.
Yeah.
The whole family was saving up for a beautiful vacation we were going to have this Holy Week. My son passed Tufts. He's going to study in Tufts, waiting to go abroad. I was going to take him to the States because he was going to study in a good university. And then, just like my stroke or just like my GBS, life turns 180 degrees and all the plans are gone. Am I afraid? Of course, I am afraid. But I'm assured that just like my stroke, just like my GBS, I am not in control. And it's assuring to know that someone is in control. And the one in control is my God, Jesus Christ. And He is a good shepherd. All I have to do is be still and know that it will be okay. My stroke and my GBS and COVID-19, pareho lang yan. Napagdaanan ko na yan. I'd like to assure all your viewers, be still and know that He is God.
You know, I was asking you in this interview, right? My job is to inspire and all that, but oh my God, how can we even complain when you went through all that, right? I mean, anything that we're going to go through, of the three things that you mentioned, COVID is like the easiest, the easiest. I mean, what's that? Diba? Stay home, watch Netflix, you know, and maybe find a way to earn from home. And but to worry about being paralyzed, to not be able to speak, those were the hard ones. Diba? My
To let
God.
go, man. Be still and know that He is God, and He's a good God, man. He'll never take. Bro, He loves us more than we love ourselves. He loves our kids more than we love our kids. And how can we let go? How can He let go? Just be still and relax and know that He'll take care of us.
Relax. Going on the other side, no, what do you think freaks people out so much? You know, especially with all the people that you're seeing now. No, you're exposed to a lot of people now.
What makes people afraid?
Yeah,
People are afraid of change because the new normal is not normal. The new normal is, if you think that after ECQ and after MECQ and we're in GCQ already, life is going to be like 3 months ago, you're mistaken.
no,
We're in this for the long haul. Economies are in shambles. We are looking at countries that will become like Somalia in their poverty. We are looking at economies that will collapse and have collapsed already. We're looking at joblessness. We're looking at, it's not going to be normal. If if we use our human understanding and try to analyze where this is going to go, we're going to be so stressed and we're going to be even more anxious. Again, I go back to my motto. I can't. Someone is in control and it's Him. There has to be a higher power in control. There has to be a higher power we can run to for us to be able to get strength. His strength is made perfect in our weakness. And right now we are weak. Right now we are anxious. You think you can get strength by yourself, knowing what's going to happen out there? You can't. There has to be someone that you can run to, and that's Him.
that'll give a lot of people comfort. Kim, how about in ABS-CBN? No? When it was shut down, can you walk us through like how did people cope with that? And I'm glad things are back to normal now, right? You guys have your temporary. It's extended, no?
Yeah, siya na eh.
Yeah. So, but when it shut down and you saw people react different ways, no? Um, can you tell us a little bit how people coped with it? No, some good coping mechanisms.
Quite surprised when that happened. It was an ordinary day. The frontliners, your ABS-CBN News and Current Affairs guys, are frontliners. So we never stopped working. I was there to do my TV Patrol live. I was waiting for my segment to be produced. I was reading my script. At 4:45, we got news that we had a cease and desist order coming from NTC. And that was not expected because we were expecting a permit to operate, a provisional permit to operate. And I saw my bosses arrive one by one. So I was seated by the lobby, and then all my bosses, the president, the chairman of the board, all the heads, they just came and they met. And then they all said, we have to follow the law. Tonight, we will close down, it will be color bars. After TV Patrol, we'll have to say goodbye. Everyone was caught by surprise. You know how busy the newsroom is. No? We were all in the newsroom. Some people started crying. Some were in shock. Some just kept on working, catatonic, until finally, Kabayan said goodbye. Our bosses, Carlo and Mark Lopez, made their speeches, and then color bars. And people were like, we're jobless.
No, and I haven't seen those color bars in a long time. It's just to see those color bars. It takes me back to when we got ABS-CBN back in 1986.
Yes, yeah.
You know,
Remember?
it really brings that back. It really brings that back.
Yeah. But again, I go back to my biblical verse that gives me comfort. Be still and know that I am God. Now, people are angry. It's okay to be angry. It's a natural human response to be angry. But if your anger leads you to sin, then it's not good. I was angry, but it's okay to express anger, but do not lead others to sin or do not try to destroy people by your anger, because otherwise it becomes unrighteous anger. There's such a thing as righteous anger.
Sure.
Yeah, and now people are more hopeful because of all the signs that we're seeing in Congress. And hopefully we get at least we have a reprieve of 4 months. And then we will pray to God that we're able to get our 25-year franchise. At least kasi if we're on air, then we can be heard. What happened kasi when we were off air, kawawa nga si Kim Chiu eh. It was Kim Chiu, It was the stars who were very vocal about their feelings. Naging meme pa eh. Naging meme pa kami ng madami, di ba?
It's social media can be cruel, you know. They can be so cruel. Kim, I'm going to ask you this last question, and I think this is the most
Yeah.
difficult question I can ask you. No, I
Yeah.
have an idea about your answer, but I'd like to hear your answer.
Hmm.
Which is your favorite motorcycle?
Ah, my favorite motorcycle. It's like saying which is my favorite kid. I
So
don't have a favorite kid because all my kids I love, and I love them in different ways. Each motorcycle has an ugali, and that ugali is distinct for that motorcycle. So I can't say that I have a favorite one, but at the moment, the one that's dear to me, but it's seasonal yan are my vintage BMWs. My
ah,
vintage BMWs are they have soul. I'm not talking about the literal soul, no. Soul meaning they're like human beings. You have to talk to them. You have to talk to them. You have to know mechanical sympathy. You have to know when to rev up, when to brake, because their brakes are so mahina. Pag nagkamali ka, patay ka. So those are my favorites now, my BMWs. But I'm developing a new set of favorites that is more apt to the times we have, COVID-19. I've been using my Vespa and my Lambretta a lot.
yeah.
I started scooterist kasi in the 90s. The big bikes are only 5 years. But since the 90s, I was on two wheels already, but Vespas and Lambrettas. The Vespa and Lambretta were invented in the 50s in Italy to cope with the hard times because of the war. Post World War II, there were no cars. There was a surplus of metal from all these factories, and they developed the scooter as we know it now. And now it's so perfect to use the Vespa and Lambretta because it feels like it's post World War II out there. And you can't be riding something so high profile and so noisy like my Ducatis that people think that you're joyriding and you're not. You're just commuting. So it's best to be as low profile as possible. So now, aside from the BMWs, I've been riding my old scooters. I have a 1964 Vespa GS and a 1954 Lambretta F that I ride to work.
Galing. Well, I was going to put my money on the scooters. That was going to be my answer
Yeah, yeah.
because of
But
the history with when you used to date the missus, right? You was
yeah,
trying.
you know what? I'll give you a tour since we're here now. The garage is like
Yeah,
behind.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait, let me just invert my camera and let me show you my garage. There you
And
go.
for the audience, no, I always see Kim out in parking lots, and he's always on two wheels. You know, that's your Zen moment, right? That's when you're focusing on just the ride, and that's where you mentally relax.
Here.
Oh, wow.
Now this is it's my BMW R50, 1962. One of my vehicles that I ride a lot. Although it's old, it's still very high profile. Now here's another BMW. It's the R75, also vintage.
Ganda.
But my most important motorcycle of all is this one because this is the motorcycle I used when I picked up Feli on our first date. It's the Vespa GS 160.
That was
The
my
door
bet. That was
room.
my
Yeah,
ganda.
this motorcycle I will never ever sell, and it will. My eldest son will get it when he's of age already. That's the Vespa GS 160. There you go.
What's in the aquarium or the terrarium?
You want to see?
Yeah.
This is snakes.
Holy moly.
It's a boa constrictor. Right here. These are ball pythons. Green tea.
Viper.
You know, Robert, my garage is a. These are my bicycles hanging. And I'll show you my koi pond then. That's my koi
Oh,
pond.
yeah, please.
My koi are quite big already. They're about 2.5 feet, some 3 feet even.
Seriously? Wow.
So that's a brief tour of my garden. I'm blessed to be able to have this garden and to be quarantined in such a place rather than in a condo. Diba?
No, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Actually, that balete tree really reminds me of the early days of DZMM.
Yeah. This
Di
ballet
ba?
property for more than 100 years already. And look at all
Wow.
around me, oh.
No, spectacular, amazing. Kim, wow. I got more than I bargained for in this conversation. Man, thanks for sharing your story. Wow.
Robert, yeah, it's a pleasure. We've been friends for 3 decades already, and whether you like it or not, you're my friend already.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. Dapat lang, no? Dapat lang. I mean, wow. But wow, Mascom days, good years. Those were good years. But
Those
the
are
one thing I want the team or the audience to know is that you worked hard. You were never, you never took anything for granted, man. You put in the work. You work as hard or as harder than anyone else. Your work ethic has always been impeccable. Your drive has been really tremendous. No, so I'm glad that people will get to see a bit of the Kim that I know. And well, what was the last thing I wanted to say? So
I know the last thing that you're gonna say is both of us, if we are blessed in life,
well, yeah,
you and I are blessed also with the most beautiful wives.
exactly.
Oh, wala nang tatalo sa kagandahan ng mga misis natin.
That's true.
They fell in love with us, man. There's so many other guys they could have fallen in love with, but they fell in love with us, diba?
It's our charm.
Yes.
Okay. Bud, thank you. Stay safe. I really appreciate the call, man.
Okay.
All right. Stay well, man. Bye bye.
It's a pleasure and God bless. Say hi to Sandy. Bye
I
now.
will. Be safe.